Hey, this is GVM, and this will be a double review of the Type 94 Shiranui Imperial Army full option set and the EF 2000 Typhoon Cerberus Battalion type. Now, there will be some difficulties with these kits because the hands are very flimsy, and uh, for this review, I haven't fully glued or cemented a lot of the plastic parts that need that. And there will be a comparison review with the 1 to 144th scale version, because what you see here right now, they are very big. Like, I guess you could say they're the master grades of the move loove kits, but they don't have full inner frames, more joint frames, I guess. Like, I'll explain it when we get there. So right now, the we'll go ahead with the Typhoon because I'll be putting it back in storage. This is very difficult for me to pose, and well, maybe not in storage. I just don't really like to use this gun. Because as much as I like and enjoy building the kit more than this guy, posing it is super difficult because a lot of the blade panes are absolutely annoying because they're very sharp. Not sharp enough to cut, but sharp enough to pinch. So this is the EF 2000 Typhoon, the Cerberus Battalion type, and essentially this is a mech version of the real life EF 2000 fighter plane, because in the Move Love universe, around the 70s, they were shifting focus from airplanes to giant mechs. Not overly giant, but enough that, well, early gen TSFs, tactical surface fighters, were more akin to tanks on legs, and with the uh, jet engines of planes. So every TSF has two of these plane-like attachments called jump units. And not gonna lie, I hate this part. Visually, they're super cool, but posing them, not so cool. Also, every component of the TSF is very well. For some reason, when I was building the kit, I felt like I was also sort of making a. There's a part here that needs to be sandwiched better. It felt like I was building an in-universe scale model, because in Move even a few hits can damage a lot of components. Now, that could be because of scarcity of materials, because they have to make do with what they have. They are fighting a 30 long year alien invasion by the time the Typhoon's been out. Europe and most of Asia has been overtaken, and it's also what inspired the design of having multiple blade veins here, like on the feet, the arms, and this can slide. This has a sliding function, just minimal, but it slides forward and back. The reason it slides forward is, from my understanding, since this hasn't appeared in any anime, it's in the visual novels, and I don't remember if it was in the with that one Steam game I have, but either way, this is for what I've noticed is Western European forces, NATO, are more inclined to use EF 2000 Typhoons and the French Rafales. I think that's what they're called. I apologize if I mispronounced that, but the Rafales are essentially just a French import of the Typhoon here. The main difference is a bit of the color. And I'm just checking because oh boy. Damn, I cannot find it. Oh wait, never mind. So the main difference between the Rafale and the Typhoon is that they have a different head unit. The spikes are more pronounced, they're a bit taller, and their blades are more jagged, like a combat knife. I don't have a picture I can show you because this is just on the phone and I don't have a laptop to properly show you that comparison. And there's no model kit. As far as we know, there's only this kit of the NATO units and the Wilfried version, which is black, has two extra assault cannons. These are the assault cannons. And has a Fort Slayer sword. What the Typhoon usually has is this melee halberd or Seawiz, and unlike the Japanese Type 74, this is more like an axe, but it's very difficult to explain because we have never seen this in action unless it's in the visual novels, and you could go find that, but it's basically just PNGs moving around, not like GIFs. So with that out of the way, the articulation is superb, but a bit constricting if you don't know certain areas. Like on the leg here, as you can see, there's this part which allows for leg joint to move more to the back. It's also what allows you to put it in a kneeling position because damn, well, we're already going for that now, so it can kneel. And while there is a promotional picture where it fires the support gun like a sniper in a sniping position, I have found that is super difficult even on this little guy, because their feet aren't exactly that well, let's just say that they fall off pretty easy. And since this is a Kotobukiya kit, I don't want them to accidentally just break off. I don't have the money to justify buying another kit. Although if I had to buy another non-scale move kit, I'd probably get a Raptor and I'd enjoy that kit more. So the guns, well, it's basically just a fancy MG42 looking gun with a bipod. Now the bipod is on a select joint, and it can do that, but you just have to be careful because they're not in a sort of fixed position. Like it's literally just a peg in a hole that are barely there for some reason. Also, the sensor here I painted along with the guns. So yeah, we are going to remove this gun, but it's also gonna be difficult for me later. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just show you the gimmicks, because we have the other guy to show you what else it can do. But since I'm just realizing that this is gonna be difficult more, I'm going to remove the jump units. They're what constricts me the most. Yeah, so a neat thing, you can remove the jump units. Just be very careful because they're one piece. I mean the wings are not in a separate piece. Oh, that's actually kind of neat that the jump units do have a notch that you can. I'm gonna do this off screen. I don't want to break it. Ah, ouch. Okay, and just so my hands don't get hurt, I'm going to remove the blades on the arms. That's how big they are. Just so I can show the articulation more. So sorry about that. Yeah, so the guns and the fingers are really annoying. I am forever grateful that I prefer buying Bandai stuff, because the hands of a Move kit are the worst part of it, and there are no substitutes that I can find for the hands. I mean. So we're going to show off the different accessory that it has. Yeah, I'm gonna put this gun in storage just because it's annoying to deal with. So I'm just gonna modify some area. And this is just the Typhoon. So this is the assault cannon, and this is it. I forgot the name for it. I don't remember if the manual has the name for it. It's just called the gun apparently, and it's a bullpup. This is the 120mm attachment, and they use that for the larger and heavier targets. Usually, from what I understand from the lore, it's either 6 or 12 shells only, while the smaller barrel fires 36mm rounds. Depleted uranium shells, no less. So, an interesting part here is this section, this part of the gun. As you can see, I removed it, but if we put it back, so in the lore, the mount pylons are basically handless arms, and what they can do is they can do this, and that they can fire onto enemies in the rear, or whenever they're flying over the enemy, just continuously fire. It's not recommended though because you need that ammo for later engagements. So why you can remove this is because, sorry, the reason that you can remove this is because there's a function that I'm glad the non-scales have, because it doesn't exist on the 1 to 144th scales. It's this. Now, I'm sorry that he still has no hands, but that's just life. And basically, and you have to be careful because it's a small pen. What happens is, if they have there are different loadouts, different doctrines. So if, for example, you have 4 guns, you can technically have 4 of your assault cannons firing at the... Actually, he's going to show us that, but I'm showing you that this is a common feature on various move kits. I'm just gonna do a short check if it's also present in other series, because there are various lines, and while the Japanese versions of TSFs are, well, for, yeah, from the F-18 Super Hornet, which I also want, it's also present, and just checking if the East German kits have them, because that's a thing. This is, after all, a West German machine. So for every other kit so far, I've noticed, has that attachment, this attachment for the gun, so that they can fire from back to the front. And apparently not. I mean, lore-wise, it's the MiG-21 supposed to do that, but maybe it's just for one particular kit. Yeah, so another function of the arms is that I'm going to put this other assault cannon on the other arm. It's good thing these ball joints are angled. So a neat function is, like the leg, the arm has this part, and the arm can rotate back. That's not supposed to happen. That's just something I've noticed. So what happens is, let's say that you don't have the assault cannon attachments, you instead have the melees, the halberds. You can technically fire into the rear by just having the arm move back. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done. So yeah, but be very careful, because you never know with these Kotobukiya kits. Now, I'm going to show off a neat gimmick of... But first we're going to remove this part. It's very annoying. So we're going to remove the guns for interesting attachment. So for the Rafale, it's also similar. So this is the mount pylon. Every mount pylon, from what I can tell, is different for every loadout. So the melee loadout is neat in that it has this much articulation and it has a sliding gimmick. And you can essentially grab it like that. Now, putting it is similar to the assault cannon. There's a lot of hand changing here, but at the very least it's going to be super solid with the hands. Yeah, so this is the one thing I dislike. The polycaps are super weak. So here's the Rafale, the Typhoon with the melee halberd. This is also 2 pieces. There's a secondary piece for the blade. You sandwich them in, and you still have to paint this, by the way. So yeah. So the Typhoon has all these fun gimmicks, and you do get closed fist hands, but you should already know what that looks like. But here are the hands. Here are the types of hands: trigger finger hands, hands for using the melee halberd, open palm hands, and closed fists. So I'm going to put him in storage for now. It's also for his safety, because I plan on getting myself to me a cement and more or less permanently fixing a lot of select parts, because that is a lot of parts that he still has. Also, you can see the foot articulation. It's very stiff. Like there's a lot of stiffness, and just moving them is dangerous because of the weak polycaps. Also, there's some nice sculpting on the head. So yeah, next is the Shiranui, and I am also going to hate doing much work with this guy, but the show must go on. Oh, I'm actually glad that this kit is able to somewhat safely get inside this Tupperware. That's very nice. And I did try beforehand, after building the weapons first. That's my go-to after all. They are not compatible with this guy. Different construction and doctrines involved that somehow got into the kit. There's also the fact that this is a 1.5 of a older kit. So here's the smaller one. So the reason he's in the missile pod opening stance is because I am gradually going to de-arm him. Disarm, I guess. But we could also remove the arms. So yeah, for the missile missile pods attachment. They are on a peg, and yeah, the weight is gonna be difficult. So I'm just going to remove that, and essentially they're just multiple sandwiched pieces, but with a moving rack here, which this part closes, slides back in, same with the other one, presto. And it's unpainted, by the way. This is from a Dolaha marker, and as you can see, I just wanted it to look red than normal, because I like seeing missiles look good. So let's remove that. I don't know what these specific pieces are on the other side of the shoulder, like this. I don't know what these are, but it's what the manual says that I should put. So we're removing the missile pods now, and the reason this is in its pose is because it was really difficult putting the hand in that situation. Imagine having so many specific parts just for the hand. The fingers also like to drop. That's why I'm reluctant to get future kits other than the Raptor. I really want the Raptor because it screams American. Also, it has very fun knees. Like they look like straight from an aircraft. Okay, so this is with the covers, and I'm just gonna get the comparison out of the way. Everything this guy can do, he cannot. Also, he only has like a pair of holding hands and one holding hand, open hand here, and even more flimsy. Like the torso is about to burst open. The melee halberd is also, the mount pylons here are, well, let's just say they're super loose now, and that just broke. Yeah, I'm gonna remove this kit. Basically, if you want to get a Movlove kit, although this is a bit more pricey, get this, not the small one. Size wise, it's good, but you should not touch it. You should not play with it. It's a disaster. So we're going to not speed run, but go through this other kit quick as possible. So removing this part. I'm also going to remove the right. I really hate these. There's always a risk of breaking these. Also, it's on a stupid poly cap, and it's just really bad. Like, I have to find a way to give the jump unit a different connection in the future. So we're just, alright. These are also all the spare parts you have. Like, there's so much junk here. It's also sensors, and they're mostly duplicates. So I'm just gonna remove the jump units for safety. Also, you do see that there's a lot of white in the chest. It does have an option of Well, I only did that because I wanted mine to be unique. Even though this is the Imperial Army ver, uh, I actually wanted the UN colors, but I realized it was blue and not white, which confuses me. In the Movlove universe, the UN's colors for all their vehicles are light blue. So, right. So, this is the guns, and what you have two versions of the attachment points. So one of them is this non-moving part, like still slides up. This was from the first version of the mount pylon for the Type 94, and essentially the assault cannon pylons, they basically share the same. It's just as closed, and this is it. This is what happens when you don't have the gun on them. There's also a version that's for the melee halberd that's also just closed. This was better than the open one, because that kept it, you have to sandwich them properly. Mine, I have to cement that in the future. So here is the mount pylon for the melee halberd, with a melee halberd already here, and it's just barely there. Like, so an advantage is you could still sorta give it deploy it for the arms to grab. Problem is, it's already a bit weak. I don't know if it's just mine, but Kotobukiya kits, you really have to be good at a lot of modeling just for it to be good. I'm mostly a snap built dude. So yeah, I'm going to show that with the backpack later, but you also get a very nice reactive armor shield. Now this is unpainted because these are two solid pieces that you have to sandwich together. Like, there's a piece that's sandwiched here, and there's two connection points that are combine it with the main shield. That's also just a sandwich part, and polycaps for hands. Now there is a bit of weight, surprisingly, and the gimmick here is you punch the enemy with this reactive armor part. I don't know why they didn't just make it all reactive armor, but that's something in the lore apparently. Like, this is lore accurate shield. Now, right. So my favorite part of this mount pylon for the assault guns is because of the more articulation. You can now sort of aim it at enemies, because even in the Movlove universe, since it's a Cold War era still, you could have to fight other TSFs. This is a Japanese TSF, after all. And the articulation for the legs are essentially the same as the Typhoon. There's also this part that you extend. It's just, yeah, the legs are mostly the same. The arms are, however, the best part, but they're not angled like the Typhoon. And I'm going to put it in the interceptor form doctrine. It's just very difficult. So we remove that. Move that. There's a lot of attachments for this kit, but if not for the fact that you have to be careful with the connection points, this is not a bad kit. It's more secure than the Typhoons. So I'm gonna have to do this off screen. Sorry. Just have to make sure that there's no problems. Okay. So, yeah. So, this is what happens when you have 4 assault cannons in the front, and because it also has the same gimmick, boom. So you could technically have the arms fire like this, the sub arms in the front, and the actual arms firing again in the back. But I don't recommend it. So with that out of the way, let's put them back. There's also technically, well, I'm going to show you immediately, but the first version of the army set does not have these. This is the hold on, I'm checking the wiki what these are actually called. I mean, they're still assault cannons. I'm just finding the proper. Yeah, the Type 87 support assault cannon. Essentially, they remove. So, in the move universe, oh my god, I have to be careful. Whew. You know what? There's so many moving parts on the feet that I'll just remove those. So here's the assault gun that looks like a P90, a very weird P90. So what happens is this is the Type 87 assault cannon, and the bottom half is the 36mm chain gun, and the top is the 120mm cannon, smoothbore cannon at that. So what happens is, turning it into the support gun, they remove the 120 and add in a longer barrel for the 36mm and a scope that I don't know why there's a hollow part here. It's also in the line art, and to give it a sniper support vibe, let's give open hand to this boy. I like it when he doesn't have that many stuff on him to restrict his movement. So yeah, this is what happens. So you technically have a sniper or a support unit, and you can dual wield it. I mean, I don't know how you're going to stabilize a sniper, a dual wielding sniper, but it's a mech. It could technically do that. So, there's my problem. The hands. Oh, sorry, just. I swear I'm gonna have to glue the hands together just for a specific gun, because I don't have, you technically can't store them all anyways. So here, dual wielding the support gun, and the sensor is unpainted like a lot of stuff here. So yeah, I've shown you that, and I'm returning them to their original configuration because I like my symmetry. Oh, right. So this magazine is actually removable. And since I don't want to hurt the hands again for stability, since this has 4 guns, you can also remove the ammo here, but there's some, well, opened parts here. And yeah, this is a sandwich piece. Alright, so we're almost done with the accessories, and I need to show you the how it holds up with the shield and the melee halberd. And now the second trigger finger, the hand has lost its ability with the main gun. This is so awkward. Yeah, if you're ever gonna get this kit, be prepared to maybe glue the assault gun hands. They are specific to the kit. Oh. Yeah, I don't want to get involved with the hand much more, so I'll probably glue that later. So with the shield, this is it with the shield. So it's a bit heavy, as I said, and yeah, you could do this. A lot of Japanese TSFs have died in this specific pose. Why? Because either they ran out of fuel for the jump units, or they got destroyed. That also happens. Although for a mech, this thing barely has power when you have it like this without the jump units. It's like a sitting duck. And you can do the, honestly, the reactive armor shield just annoys me. So I'm going to show the more fun parts, that is a gimmick of the arm. Yeah, I hate these hands. My fingers were not designed for these hands. Okay, so I'm going to put him in a pose specifically. And this is removable. The reason that it's removable is because of this. This is a subarm that is hidden in this, according to the lore. I don't know how this is supposed to come out, but I'm not a proper engineer. But you can technically pull out a combat knife. Right, I painted the combat knife so it's a bit harder to remove. Here's the combat knife, and it just slides in. There are two of this, so if you want to have them in a pose where they're pulling out two of the knives, you can do that. There's a second unit, but at the same time, you're gonna have to glue this flimsy part. Well, not necessarily this. This is on a peg. I meant this because this is very tiny plastic connection. So I'm going to remove that because it's time for the melee halberd. There's a 50-50 chance I'll give this to a different kid in the future. So yeah. Also, there is some movement, but it's not really that great. And finally, we are going for the melee halberd. As you can see, he has been thoroughly disarmed of his accessories. But for the melee halberd, we are going to give you a final last chance. So here, as you can see, yeah, it's a bit difficult, but the point is you can do that. And here it is with the melee halberd. You get two of these, and yeah. I'm not great with the posing. So that was the kit, and there's I'm just gonna remove the arm for this. There's a lot of articulation on the arm that you have to see. Also, you can flip up this panel. Sometimes there's a click, sometimes there's not. This is very difficult. Yeah. So, an interesting part of this arm is There's movement on the shoulder here. There's a sliding gimmick, and from what I'm thinking, you can technically do this, although there will be some parts that would open up. Because there's a scene in the anime where they deploy. I don't know. I don't remember a portion of that scene, other than they were deploying and there was a lot of folding action. And here is a lot of movement with the arm, the shoulder. You can, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. So much hinges and whatnot here. But to be safer, just don't move those parts. There's a lot of sensor blue here. Those are clear parts. Suggest you use the bright blue parts like on the legs. So yeah, also very difficult to just put that on the shoulders. Head is very nicely sculpted. You can't see it, but there's a clear part. You just can't see it. It's very difficult. And I hate this part in particular. I have a lot of stuff here to glue. And finally, the crotch piece can do this. B. Yeah. Also, it cannot. It technically could maybe do the splits, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. So this was my review of the non-scale Kotobukiya movement alternative in Lost Arcadia EF2000 and Type 94 Shiranui Imperial Army full option set 1.5. This is GVM. My fingers still hurt, and the only other kits I'm going to get from this line, if ever, are the F-18 Hornet, the MiGs, and the F-22 Raptor. This is GVM signing off. The next reviews unboxing will be the Gundam Death Scythe Hell, the G Bouncer, and maybe a review of the Red Gundam. Like, share, and subscribe.